Welcome to Between the Vines. My name is Kevin Martin. Here with me today are Jennifer Phillips Russo and Andy Musa. We are the extension members of the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program team, bringing to you this podcast. Uh, a lot of people, if you've listened to a lot of podcasts in the past, you've heard, you've been listening to this podcast for a long time. Go check out our live stream on YouTube. This is sort of the opposite of that. We've been doing a video blog for a long time. You can see that on our website at lergp.com. We've decided to venture into the world of podcasting, mostly because everybody's doing it, but no, really because we have a lot of growers in our region who are short on time. They spend a lot of time in the tractor, and more of them have ventured into the world of smartphones, and we are trying to reach them all ways that we can. And an audio version of our video blog, I think, is a good opportunity for our constituents to stay informed. That's what they've asked us to do as well. So here we are. We will be learning and growing in this format as we go. And if you're used to seeing us through our website or on our YouTube channel, we will continue to be there. We will continue to post that information there. Again, if this is new for you, if you're a podcast devotee and you haven't seen us in any other way, my name is Kevin Martin. I'm the business management specialist, and I sort of try to handle all things business management, especially in our region, which is heavily Concord based. So this is a commodity agriculture, and we're doing everything we can to keep our growers sustainable. So when we introduce new production practices or something like that, we want to make sure there are sound business plans and sound business assumptions behind those production practices. We operate on fairly thin margins, at least most of our farms do. So that is how we approach change in our area and in our vineyards. Uh, Jennifer, I want to turn it over to you so you can get a chance to introduce yourself for a second. She is going to be one of my co-hosts here.
Thanks, Kevin. I think it's really important to note that this is also our 200th video blog for the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. So we had, like Kevin said earlier, if you are used to seeing us, we've kind of done this the backwards way. This is 200. I'm proud to say that for our team. So you can go watch 200 of these if you wish. So I'm Jennifer Phillips Russo. That's who I am. I'm Jennifer Phillips Russo, and I am the viticulture extension specialist with the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. We handle things from soil analysis to nutrient recommendations, tissue sampling. We talk about cover cropping and soil health. Current studies that I have going on right now, research are in bud hardiness, different cropping levels between natives, hybrids, and vinifera species to see if they have any effect on the bud hardiness through the growing season. I come out and do one-on-ones and our growers blocks if they have problems, or even just to discuss what's going on and what their plans are for the future.
I would second that. I mean, this podcast is a way for us to connect to you in a new format, but feel free to use this as inspiration to connect to us. If you know who the team is, or if you want to learn more about the team, there are plenty of other more traditional ways to connect to us. Phone, email, website, and all of those resources that typically go along with extension. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer questions. And we're hoping to give it that local flair so that cover crops in this region are like always with cover crops are going to be unique to a region. So while this, I hope, will have something for everybody, when you need that local input on what's going on in your vineyard, we hope to add that as well. The other co-host, who is probably the best talker on the team, so maybe we'll just turn all these over to him from now on. If you know us at all, you certainly know Andy. This is Andy Musa, and he'll be joining us on our podcast from time to time as well.
I'm glad to be here. Like they said, I'm part of the Lake Erie Regional Grape Extension team also, and I've been handling integrated pest management issues for any pests that are in the vineyard in the Lake Erie region with the team. I'm also part of Penn State Extension in Erie County. So as I don't know if nobody's mentioned it today, but this is a cooperative program between both Penn State and Cornell. And so we have team members from both universities. I'm handling mostly the pest management. We used to do it with our colleague Tim Weigel, who was also IPM for New York IPM program, but Tim has recently retired. So now we're down one member, but hoping to soon get a fourth member on the team. So with that, like I said, what we usually do during the season, we have a crop update every week once the season gets going. And in our weekly crop updates, again, we post that on our website, talking about all the issues, viticulture issues, business management, and pest management. So you might want to, at least if you're in the region, join the program and get those weekly crop updates during the season. And what we try and do is just keep growers up to snuff on what's happening in the vineyards during the season.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, if you're not listening to this in almost real time, it's on the verge of being April. So this is just about the beginning of our growing season. We haven't seen any activity in the vineyards yet, but things are greening up. So we're going to cover a bunch of issues, I think, really quickly over the next 8 episodes. We'll be into the heart of the growing season as we do our best to issue these once a week. So probably, the biggest thing for me that's happening is going to be the development in the fertilizer markets, at least at first. And this will evolve over time. We're going to try to really focus in on the major issues that are current, whether they're current because of weather conditions or they're current because of market conditions or whatever insects are doing at the time. We're gonna try to make that the focus of our podcast, especially during the growing season. In the winter months, that may evolve to sort of more like current research topics. Maybe the most important thing in research isn't necessarily the thing that's going on today in the vineyard, but we'll definitely try to cover those when we can during the growing season and, of course, during the dormant months. So for me, fertilizer is going to be the next big thing for the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if there's anything you want to mention, Jennifer.
Yeah, for me, I've actually had a lot of growers and processor calls lately about bud swell is happening slowly. We've had some really nice warm weather. There's a lot of sap flowing in upper canopies, not just on suckers. So everyone's a little bit nervous about the weather, and not like we could control that. Wish we could. However, we will be monitoring bud hardiness and keeping our eye on and our ear out to whatever thing's going on, and I'll report as we meet together in podcasts.
Andy, anything from you? Have you been out in any vineyards or notice anything that you expect to?
Well, now that Jen said the buds are starting to swell, the first thing that we'll be commenting on and we look at is during bud swell is grape flea beetle and climbing cutworm. So as the buds get further along, and really are in full swell, then we'll start talking about flea beetle and cutworm. And when they break, we all worry, the growers and everybody on the team, about frost issues. So that'll be the biggest worry once they break. And then as we get into, they start to grow a little bit as we approach the 3 to 5 inch stage, we'll start talking about diseases such as phomopsis and management during that time.
Yeah. And if this ends up being a big frost year, we can expect some of these topics to be the same, but be articulated a little bit differently because management styles do change in the rare years where we have severe frost events that encompass the entire region. But if that does happen, I hope it doesn't. If that does happen, we'll expect us to evolve some of our programming over the next month or so. I think that's all I have. If you're seeing this on our YouTube channel, please be sure, if you're interested, to collect this wherever you normally listen to your podcast. We will have a link if you don't normally listen to podcasts, but you are interested. We'll have a link to where you can get that either on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. So we'll be able to do that for you. And if you're not familiar with what podcasts are, what that means is that when we push out a new show, is as long as your phone is working the way it should, which can be an open question sometimes, that will push right to your device. Your feed will be updated and you'll have a new podcast to listen to without going to our website, without checking your email. It will just show up on your phone. So that's what we want to do. We want to try to make this as easy for you to hear us as possible. We will be, again, continuing to learn with this format. We do like to show, especially my colleagues, co-hosts, like to show pictures of bugs and vineyards and graphs and charts. Obviously, you're going to lose that format. So, you know, if we refer to some things and they trip you up, you can always, if you're interested in it, refer back to our YouTube page to see that. Thank you a lot for joining us. We will see you in the very near future and every week, hopefully. That's it for now. Thanks a lot.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.